is it?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Oh, look at all the Christmas decorations up here at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Podcastro Valleyton. Oh, if maybe you're listening to this after Christmas, I hope it was great and it was not a mess. It's FF episode 2735, and there might be some of you still alive after drinking all that eggnog or eating all that stuff.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That gives you inflammation. We don't eat much anti-inflammatory
Mike's
things this time of year.
Daily
Unless you count
Podcast.
cranberries.
Yeah!
I think they might help you out a little bit. But the rest, oh boy, there's just so much sweets, so much fattening stuff. But it's the holidays. And heart attacks, they're like really bad this time of year, so just watch yourself. It seems like there's always a study saying heart attacks are bad every moment of the year, but this time of year particularly, you want to be careful and try and eat healthy as best you can. Oh, I just got an email from my cousin who's going to be visiting in a couple of months. The wonderful California. She's the one that says Mike's Daily Podcast at the beginning of the show. So looking forward to that. I'm excited. And it's nice that we don't have to just communicate solely using Instagram. It's good to not use that app particularly all the time. Although I also use Gmail. So there you go. Google's got me. Meta's got me. In some ways, Microsoft has me. Apple doesn't have me much, though. I don't have much in the way of Apple stuff. Which, geez, not even they are subject to craziness and hooliganism. Is that the word I want?
And here's today's podcast picture.
It's a little nativity scene. Because some of you might have the proclivity to enjoy seeing a nativity scene. And there it is. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com, somewhere in Pleasanton, as we are in Podcastro Valleyton today. And yes, that's the podcast picture. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com. All the past podcast pictures are there. You can also follow me on Instagram. I got a link to where to follow me there at mikesdailypodcast.com. Now, perhaps you're Gen Z. If you are, congratulations, you're young. Gen Z said technology is making Gen Z lonelier and spend more. Oh, the late great Basil the Boxer. Yes, he's worried about Gen Z as well. Technology is making millions of Americans and Gen Z in particular lonelier, and it's leading many to spend more. Nearly a third of Gen Z said technology and social media have made them either somewhat or much more lonely. A slightly higher percentage than millennials, and the highest of any of the generations that we identify. The survey found that technology has less sadness impact on boomers. Okay, boomer. Gen Xers. I am a Gen Xer. I'm on the older side of it, more closer to the boomer side, but Gen X. And the silent generation.
News random.
What's the silent generation? Is that the generation that's dead? What is... Hey, that was morbid. All that info came from Rob Black. I produce his podcast, The Rob Black Show. He is on live on AM 1220 KDOW in the Bay Area weekday mornings. And he's also on Cron Television Monday through Thursday in the 9 o'clock hour. For many, Gen Z, maintaining relationships and avoiding loneliness comes at a cost. They're spending more on everything, from gym memberships to social clubs, some costing in the thousands of dollars a year.
Might rip someone a new one.
Gym memberships. I find gym memberships ridiculous. I have experience with this. A lot of what I tell you is from experience, of course.
MTV News. You hear it
first.
am now 55. Dun, dun, dun. But yes, my ex-wife got in with a gym. This was back in Alabama. And she never went to it.
The Mike Tip.
And we would spend, I don't know, like $200 a month for this place or more. And she'd never go. And every time I asked her, are you going to the gym? She'd get all defensive and mad. I'm like, well, I can't go to your gym because it was a women's only gym. So she said, all right, I'm going to try and get out of it because I don't go. And then she says to me, I can't get out of it. I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, as long as my address is on file, it's going to keep charging me. I said, what? No, you just tell them to cancel it. No, I can't. So I don't know. Particularly, I just remember she couldn't until we moved. Then apparently we could completely end it.
What in the world was that about?
So be careful of that stuff, those recurring payment things. You're and it's worse than ever now because so many companies and organizations and you want us to send fresh, delicious vegetables? A lot of people are going to buy those this time of year. Oh, and gym memberships. Gym memberships are going to be through the roof right now. I got to work off all this fat. My fat belly. I got to work it off because of all the sweets I've eaten and the cakes and all that this time of year. I need to go to the gym. If I have a gym membership, it will make me go to the gym. No, it won't. The only thing that makes you go to the gym or makes you exercise at all is if you make yourself do it. And one of the ways to do that is to fool yourself, is to park way too far away from the entrance of Costco and have to walk all that way and then push your cart once you got all your stuff in the cart, push it all the way back to your car over those little bumps that I guess they're for the blind.
What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week?
The carts with some kind of different type of wheel that can absorb the bumps. Because as soon as you hit those bumps, those little bumps, you know, the little yellow painted bumps, everything on your cart falls off. It shakes it all loose like a California earthquake. Oop, I shouldn't say that.
What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week?
To absorb so that everything still stays in your cart. Anyway, Café Anyway. What I was saying was you should fool yourself into exercising, walking more. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro, Valentino, the last place on earth. One of the reasons why I'm getting rid of my doctor, whom I've now been seeing for over 5 years, I'm going to get rid of her. The last time I saw her, I was like, hey, because it was an annual exam, a yearly exam.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
And she said, do you have anything, any concerns? I go, yeah, my left ear has been muffled, been blocked ever since I got the COVID shot. And she said, okay, do you want me to look at that? And I said, well, that's why I brought it up. And she goes, okay, just so you know, and she's never done this before, just so you know, if I take a look in your ear, I'm going to have to charge you extra. What I have to put on the insurance claim certificate document that I did an extra, I went above and beyond your annual exam. So insurance is going to get that, and you're going to get charged for an office visit. I go, that's ridiculous. You're standing right in front of me. Can't you just look in my ear? I can't without you being charged more. That's just how, that's not me. That's just how it works. And I looked at her and I'm like, okay, all right. Okay, now it's starting to make sense why I was charged extra last year. The insurance, I'm like supposed to get this annual exam for free, and they charged me an extra couple $100 on top of that. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, and you can't dispute with them because you try and call and you get put on hold for 3 years.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
I said, all right. And then she felt bad for me and she goes, you know what? I was just going to check your ears anyway because it's part of the annual exam. So let me just look in there. And she looked real quick. She goes, I don't see anything. I said, all right, am I going to get charged extra for that? And she goes, no. Okay, thanks. So I know it's not exactly her fault, but lately, over the past several years, I've not really liked her bedside manner, and I'm just done with it. And I'm done with the whole company that I tried to switch doctors earlier this year, and everybody I tried to get, nope, they're not available. Nope, they're not accepting patients. Oh, that person retired. Why are you still on the list if you retired? I don't get that at all. So I have had meanwhile, my lovely lady friend, she is with, I'm not going to say who, but it's a huge health organization here in California, which started in Richmond. Okay, I've said too much. Anyway, Café Anyway, they are fantastic with her. And the doctor she has with them is fantastic. And everything she tells me, the doctor, will take care of or get back to her right away. Oh, that's the other thing. You can't email your doctor a picture of, oh, there's this weird growth on my finger. What do you think this is? Because they'll charge you. You'll get an extra charge. With the people that I'm with now, my lovely lady friend, can do that, and the doctor's cool with her and gives her a quick little synopsis of what it might be. That's all we want is a little information. These doctors are all worried that WebMD is going to replace them. But at the same time, help us out. Come on. I know they work long days. I know they're stressed and they got all their laws they got to follow so they don't get brought up on charges. Got to follow HIPAA and all that stuff. But yet, it just has gotten worse and worse. So, my point is, I hate Jim Carrey. Why did I bring that up? Because everybody's watching The Grinch, and you never hear on the radio Jim Carrey's version of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. It's always Thurl Ravenscroft from the Haunted Mansion and all those rides at Disneyland and the Tiki Room and everything. Thurl Ravenscroft, who was the voice of Tony the Tiger, who was then, when he passed away, replaced by Lee Marshall, who was a fantastic man. Lee Marshall worked at a radio station. He ran the station. Incidentally, it was called The Boomer in Ventura County. He did it as sort of I love the music and I like to still be on the radio and that kind of, even though he was really, really rich at this point because he had made all this money being Tony the Tiger. And he was so kind and so giving and gave all this great advice about voiceover stuff. And one of the things he told me was, Mike, those little character voices you do, like the Chely Shoehart. Oh, he loved Chely Shoehart. Absolutely adored the Chely Shoehart voice. Don't know why, but he goes, oh, she sounds funny. And all those crazy little voices I do, he said, do that. Come up with your own voices. Don't do impressions. Don't do the Homer Simpson. Don't do Sean Connery. Do the fun things. Because I had a boss that loved it when I did impressions.
For your entertainment, the one, the only, Mike Matthews.
Meanwhile, Lee Marshall's like, no. Do the things that you made up. Because that's what makes you. That's what makes you indistinguishable or indispensable is the word I want. And you're distinguishable from other people. Anyway, Café Anyway, he was very cool with that and gave all kinds of great advice.
It's pretty interesting.
And Lee Marshall told me, he goes, I wish I could sing like Thurl Ravenscroft. I have this amazing deep voice, but I can't do quite what Thurl Ravenscroft did. But anyway, he was Café Anyway, a fantastic person, Lee Marshall. Gave all kinds of great advice, was a kind person. And I'm sad he's gone. So, back to the Gen Zers who are going to gyms or trying to go to gyms and then forgetting about the memberships and still paying. and doing social clubs, which I don't know exactly what that is, unless if it's a Timex social club. Then I know there's a thing about rumors. Rumors get started by the jealous people as they has something that said somebody else is holding. However that song went. They were from Sacramento. Look at all these rumors around me every day. Younger Americans are spending considerably more on dating. I had an OkCupid account, met one person on OkCupid, was in a relationship for a couple months, and that went bad real quick. Here's the thing, is they were, on the first date, a kind, wonderful, optimistic, positive person.
Wow, Shuts, wow.
On the second date, that changed, and right around then I should have had alarms go off, but I had recently divorced, and you know how that is. The absolute bottom of your life at that point, it's hard to recover from. And my heart goes out to all of you who are recently divorced. But you'll make it. Hang in there. You're going to have to do a bad OkCupid date like I did. A bad OkCupid relationship. That was horrible. That person was not what I signed up for at all. So that ended. And it's interesting because she ended up getting married, I think, within a few months after we broke up. But gosh, she was so negative and down and the complete opposite of the date. But that's pretty common. You got to... My lovely lady friend and I have been with each other for over 5 years. And she said, she's kind of revealed to me lately. We were talking about how... Oh, she said... You know, I used to, when I would go on a date with someone, I'd see how they interacted with the food server, and if they were mean to them, I'd know this wasn't a good guy. And she said to me, "You're very kind to food servers." I go, "Of course, because my dad was mean to food servers, and I never wanted to be like that." Gosh, why do you... And I think people who have not done food serving...
Nosebleed section.
Worked in restaurants, you don't really know what it is like. You've got to have a certain amount of empathy because it is hard work. And I was a busboy, and I dropped water on a kid once, and I felt really bad. But they grew up and became the president of the United States. No, that's not true, but that would have been a great way to end that story. It's a Christmas tall tales, what it is. 1 in 5 said they're going on fewer dates because of inflation in the G-Zennial world, which has pushed up the price for a dinner and a movie. Why even go to a movie? Movies are so expensive. Why? And movies are horrible.
Matthew's News.
I don't get it.
Ridiculous random host.
I went to a lot of movies in the 80s when I was a teenager and turning 20. Somebody pointed out to me about the music in the 80s, how there was a lot of music about, well, the end of the world that were dystopian in nature. A lot of songs. Mike and the Mechanic, Silent Running, Mr. Sting, when Sting had his song The Russians, which inspired Oppenheimer with, what's his name? Not Chris Noth. I can't think of the guy's... Well, you know, the one who directed Oppenheimer. And he's Australian, I think. Then there was...
Mike's Scavenger Hunt.
Oh, speaking of Christmas songs, Weird Al Yankovic, Christmas at Ground Zero. And there was the... Two Tribes Go to War... Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Land of Confusion by Genesis. A lot of songs like pointing at the Smiths. The bomb that will bring us together. And their other song, Panic. There's many more I can't think of at the moment, but yes. And I can't think of the director of Batman and Memento and all the other movies he made, but it'll come back to me. It's Interstellar. It's Chris something. So, to all of you, I wish you a Merry Christmas. And yes, I'm looking it up rather without you noticing. And Christopher Nolan. Then let's do this. Let's go back with Matthews. But before we do that, let's say hi to some people. And check out the podcast picture of Rocky the cat from the last show that was called Tidings. Did you hang up your tidings? Did you... look who's here. Hello, Madam Master, it's Madame Rootabega. I knew it was Christopher Noth all the time. Oh! No, not Christopher Noth, Christopher Nolan. Yes. And you like him? Yes. Did you like Batman? No. Yeah. Kind of sick of that. Hope 2024 is not a year of superhero movies. I think we're done. We really need to have a couple years off from that. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we're involved in all kinds of clubs.
Yeah, clubs. Do you know that? That's great. Clubs. There was that meetup app for a while, and you could get into all kinds of, I'll go watch birds, like these birds that you hear outside a Café Anyway.
Baloney.
Or I'll join a Christmas tree club, and we'll go and enjoy and look for Christmas trees together. Next to those stockings hung by the chimney with care, it appears more likely than ever that the trimmed tree will be fake. Faux. What faux? The average price of a Christmas tree is between $80 and $100, some of you found out. A 10% increase from last year. I would never, ever, ever get a real Christmas tree. I know some of you just love the smell of them and all that. No. Just walk in the forest. Walk amongst evergreen trees. That's what you need to do. And then they just get thrown on the side of the street. They look so awful and sad and just...
Wine. Well, I like
The whiny white man wine list.
These cadaver Christmas trees on the side of the road. It's horrible. Right. And that'll be, depending on when you listen to this, maybe right about now. Because it happens just right after Christmas. Artificial Christmas trees will break the bank even more with an average price tag that's all over the place. Between $85 or $1,000 or more. The American Christmas Tree Association, yes, there is the American Christmas Tree Association, or ACTA. They did a survey, and it said that 77% of Americans who display a tree this year will choose an artificial one. That hurts. When you're an association that puts out a survey and you find out, we're going out of business. That coincides with a boom for artificial trees. In 2023, the U.S. imported nearly 450 million fake trees, and most of them were from China. A decade ago, there was 100 million less coming into the U.S. Consumers tend to prefer their consistent appearance and cost savings over time. I have a small tree. My lovely lady friend and I decorate, and that's the cool thing about a small tree is that it takes much less time to decorate, and it's much easier to find a place for it to put it away for the rest of the year. And it is a fake tree, and I bought it in Gulf Shores, Alabama at the Target there in 2007. That shows you how old it is. And it's still working. Well, the lights stopped working, but I took the lights off, which was pretty difficult to do because they were really tightly wound on the branches. But I removed the lights, put new lights on it, and it's still standing. That's through years and marriages and pets and everything else, and houses. It's survived a couple different houses, so I think it will be with me for a while. My lovely lady friend's fine with it. We're fine with it. Consumers tend to prefer their consistent appearance and cost savings over time. Meanwhile, because I did spend, I think, $70 on a Christmas tree the first year I lived in Podcastro Valley. Not going to do that again. Meanwhile, there are fewer and fewer real Christmas trees to go around following the 2008 financial crisis when the total number sold nationwide fell 34%. Many farmers pivoted to planting crops that don't take 7 to 10 years to grow. Yeah, it takes that long to grow a Christmas tree, interestingly enough. So, let's see. 19.3 million were sold in 1998. 12.8 million sold in 2008. Real Christmas trees. Right. There we go. Oh, the Travis Kelce, officially the champion of game day advertising, the NFL tight end and Taylor Swift love interest, is starring in more ads during games than any other celebrity. Passport travel times have returned to pre-COVID levels. In 1990, only 5% of Americans had a passport. Today, that's up to 48%. There are more than 160 million passports, which is almost double the number from 2007. And we mentioned last podcast about Elon Musk launching a new private K-12 school that is quietly moving to Texas. It's a micro school. It's tech-centric. And he's got a nonprofit. He's trying to build a futuristic university, they are saying. And Google will pay $700 million after it was accused of overcharging consumers on Google Play. Their Google Play, on Google Play, the Google Pay Store. The Biz said it'll make it easier to download apps outside its app store following a settlement with U.S. states. I have not ever bought an app. I don't understand that. Buying an app through Google Play, through the Apple Pay, Play, whatever. I don't get it, but people do. I think you need to really need something in order to pay for an app. But that's just me. You know what it is time for? It is time now for the segment, Let's Go Back with Matthew.
Let's go back with Matthew.
The Myclopedia Insantica.
Shall we do this? Yes. Okay. Here are a couple songs that were sent to me, and the amount of songs being sent to me at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com has dwindled so much that we're just going to play you 2 songs today. But hey, you probably have not heard these songs anywhere else, so this is cool. The first one is the Portland Cello Project. They look to the new year. Oh, wait a minute. I just combined 2 separate segments. Okay, I meant to say this is the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. I'm a little confused with these segments. Okay, we'll get rid of this part first, and then we'll do the Let's Go Back with Matthews. Okay, so here we go. The first song is by the Cello Project, Portland Cello Project. What are you doing for New Year's Eve? It is Saida Wright. She has worked with the late, great Prince earlier in her career. And Tyrone Hendricks is on drums. Here's a little bit of a song called What Are You Doing New Year's Eve? I love that she's singing, but these videos they make sometimes are so awful. To me, a performer when they're singing should never be sitting down, and Saida is sitting down in this. It just doesn't look right. When a person is singing, they should be standing. That's just my thing. It's a hang up I have. If you're sitting down and singing, I don't quite believe you. Okay, Mike. Thank you for that. Okay, and song number 2 here in the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud is by Vera Sola. Vera Sola recently announced she'll be releasing her second album. Okay, that's great. So here's a little bit of that. Vera Sola and the song I'm Lying. This video is just strange. It's like a TV set, and it looks like the valley somewhere, Malibu Canyon is what it looks like. But okay, so those are the two songs. Which one did you like better, Vera Sola or the other one by the Portland Cello Project? You can call me at the number 510-228-4640. And I'll repeat that number at the end, or you can go to the website, mikesdailypodcast.com, and the phone number is there as well. Okay, let's go back with Matthew.
Let's go back with Matthew.
From a radio station that still exists, KVVY, B95.1. I was on that station almost 20 years ago in the mid-O's, and here's a little bit of that.
B95.1 on the way next. 10 songs in a row so you can listen longer. It is Matt Michaels at 656-9595. What are you doing this summer?
Actually, I'm a blind person, so I go to a blind camp.
All summer?
Well, no, not all summer. It's up in the Malibu Mountains. They call it Camp Bloomfield for about a week. And I don't know, the rest just take it easy.
What's your favorite thing about it?
They have barbecues. They got swimming. They got the horseback riding as usual. They have games. They have campfires, talent shows.
You said barbecue and talent show, two of my favorite things.
Oh, good one. That's all right. Hey, I love to eat. Eating those burgers and chicken and everything else.
Well, good luck if you do any talent show stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yay! Malibu, summertime. Remember, that's coming up in about 6 months, so you'll have that to enjoy. Malibu. So she was part of a camp. She's blind. There is a school for the blind near where I work in Fremont at the radio group there, and I pass by it every day. It's a huge campus, and it's been there for something like 200 years. So that's an interesting thing to point out, that little segment from that radio show that I did years ago reminded me of. Shall we listen to one little bit more of B95.1?
This summer, be listening to B95.1 each weekday at 9:40.
A pair of tickets to see Lifehouse at our next B Lounge at the Courtyard by Marriott in Camarillo, coming up in the next 15 minutes on B95.1.
Lifehouse, Nickelback. Oh, where have they gone? I know Nickelback came out with a new album last year. Lifehouse was from Camarillo. They were really nice. Interesting thing about Lifehouse is Jude Cole discovered them. And Jude Cole is one of my favorite singer-songwriters. And I got to meet Jude Cole. He wasn't there. It was not for Life. Was it for Lifehouse? No, it was some other guy that he was promoting that didn't make it big. But yeah, very nice guy. Met him very briefly. And all he did was, the whole time we talked, was promote the new act that I've forgotten. He's gone. Oh, okay, Chad Kroger.
B95.1, we've got an amazing B Lounge coming up, and we want you to be part of it. We're going to give a pair of tickets to caller number 9, 656-9595 for their intimate performance at the Courtyard by Marriott in Camarillo from B95.1.
Depeche Mode. Dun, dun, dun. And that girl before Depeche Mode, I forget her name. She was a actress. I don't know what became of her.
B95.1.
Who's this? Jennifer, you're caller number 9.
Yay. I can't scream because I'm at work.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll scream for you.
Okay.
Yay! Okay. Lifehouse is a special B Lounge, very intimate.
That's so awesome. I love them.
You and the guys, and of course the lead singer, originally from Camarillo, so this is sort of like a coming home party.
That's so cool.
At the Courtyard by Marriott. And Jennifer, what station just hooked you up and gives you 10 songs in a row every hour?
B95.1.
B95.
From that performance, oh, by the way, that voice guy we just heard a little bit of, he's no longer with us. But he was like the big go-to voice guy. He'd be the voice for all these different radio stations. I got from that Courtyard Marriott, I got a free travel coffee cup that I still use. It's amazing. It's lasted all these years. Let's go back even further, shall we? This is fun. Let's go back over 20 years to the year 2000. And I was at the Ventura County Fair. I was live. I was surrounded by people. I was at this booth. We had this booth with a bunch of guitars in it. And it was the Ventura County Fair. Of course, a bunch of country artists stopped by the fair. Terry Clark was there, Canadian artist from Medicine Hat, Canada, Alberta, Canada. And she performed. I had interviewed her years ago. I think that interview is on my website, mikesdailypodcast.com, in the interview section, or the cassette cubbyhole section, one of the two. But here is a little bit of me live. Speaking of cassettes, this did come off of a cassette. All these did, so it does have that interesting sound to it. But here was the live performance of Mike at the fair, going by Matt Michaels back then.
Live at the Ventura County Fair, this is 100.7 KHAY with Matt Michaels, and we just heard Terry Clark. That's her new one. She played it tonight, A Little Gasoline. Dwight Yoakam was right before that. I've got everybody here at the booth. We got Katie.
Woo! Hey, what's up, Katie? Woo!
We got Robin.
Howdy.
And we got Candace.
Hi.
All right. And also, we have Marge. Oh, man. You remember my name. Yeah, I remember your name. And Erica's over there working too. We're having a great time. If you're still here at the fair, stop by. But if you're listening in your car, you're probably driving away from the fair. Oh, what'd you want to say, Erica?
Kimberly rules.
What the heck? All right, there you go. Okay, all right, we're going to hear from Alan Jackson next. It's the Hey Santa Fe Cafe live at the Ventura County Fair.
You can win a guitar personally autographed by the Dixie Chicks, announcing the KHAY Great Guitar Giveaway at the 2000 Ventura County Fair. Come to the KA booth. Enter to win guitars personally autographed by Alan Jackson, Kenny Rogers, Travis Tritt, Diamond Rio, Montgomery Gentry, Clay Davison, Aaron Timmons, Shadaisy, and other great country stars. We're giving away a deluxe charred royal gas grill and other special KA prizes. Join us for the best fair concert starring Terry Clark, Kenny Chesney, and Chely Shoehart. It's non-stop fun at the KA booth at this year's Ventura County Fair, where you can win a guitar autographed by the Dixie Chicks, only from KHAY.
The 2000 Ventura County Fair is 12 days and nights of fun and excitement.
Wow. Okay, I think whoever was running the board, that's what we call it, running the board. Because I was live at the fair, so somebody had to be back at the station twisting all the knobs and the sliders and all that. And I think they left me on. There was sort of this background noise going on. But that commercial that we heard, I produced that. I didn't voice it. That was a guy named Mark McKay, I think, or Mike McKay, or something, McCrae, something like that. But yeah, Dixie Chicks, that's back when they were still popular. So that was the year 2000. There was somebody, I said, hey, you want to say hello? And one of them, there was somebody there that I had on the air that ended up becoming my wife. That is so amazing. I have never heard this. I just realized that I put the gal that would later become my wife and is now my ex-wife on the air. That's so funny. Oh, and there was somebody else there. There was a gal named Katie. I wonder what became of Katie. She was interesting. And as you know, Mike never had, and never will have good luck with any woman named Katie. Something about that name is kryptonite to Mike, is bad news for Mike, and has led to nothing but tears with Mike. So Mike stays away from women named Katie. And there you go. My lovely lady friend's name is not Katie. That's why that works. But yeah, one of the other ones ended up marrying me. And that ended. And we talked about Malibu there. And we talked about Camarillo there in that clip. You heard someone say, hey, Camarillo. So there you go. Camarillo. That's somewhere in Ventura County. And I hope everyone in Camarillo. I went to high school with a lot of people from Camarillo. So if they're listening, howdy out to them. And one last piece here in the Let's Go Back with Matthew segment. with sort of a Yuletide tinge to it. Let's go back to, 30 years now, to a radio station I worked at that wasn't country, that wasn't top 40. It was an oldies station, but we played a little mix of, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s music. And this was a station called The Bus, 96.7. And as you heard in those other clips, I went by the name Matt Michaels on the radio in Ventura County. Well, it all started at this station with the name Matt Michaels. And in fact, I was still trying to get used to saying the name Matt Michaels, not going by my real name, Mike Matthews. So here's a little bit of me trying to get used to saying my new name on this oldie station.
The Bus, 96.7, Matt Michaels stepping in for a Saturday night with Marvin Gaye.
We did play some great music on this station. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, Joni Mitchell.
The Buzz 96.7 and Joni Mitchell Help Me from 1974. Good evening, Matt Michaels with you on a Saturday night and weekday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. It's Taking Care of Business. While you're at work, Stephanie Rose plays all your favorite songs you request. All you need to do is call us at the bus lines. Taking Care of Business, sponsored by Barnacle Bills in the Channel Islands Harbor. It's right here on the Bus 96.7.
It only happens twice.
Barnacle Bills. Ringo Starr.
The Bus 96.7.
Oh my gosh! The bottom of the chart.
Pretty good songs that never made it on the radio because people didn't think they were worth. But you know what? They come back up and people start playing them, and it's like, oh, where'd that come from?
Mick Jagger looks fantastic, doesn't he? Now he still looks great. He still sounds great. They came out with a new album this year. He still sounds amazing. But this is a classic song from them. I was taking my time.
The Buzz 96.7, Matt Michaels with you on a Saturday night. Just got out of a wedding, and I think I could use this tune. Words of Love, Buddy Holly and the Crickets on 96.7.
Oh my gosh, that's right. And the wedding that I went to was in Camarillo. My gosh, in 1992, that's when my friend Erin, her sister Lori got married. I wonder if they're still together, Lori and her husband. I forgot his name. He was a cool guy. Oh, Erin and Lori, they were great. They're somewhere in San Diego, I think. And Erin got married, had 2 daughters. Hope everyone's doing good. I hope you're doing good this holiday season, and I hope 2024 is a good year for you. It certainly needs to be. We've had a bunch of crazy years. Last year was the worst. Last year and 2020. 2000 was okay. As you could hear, I was having fun in 2000 at the Ventura County Fair. 2020, not so good. Yeah, so I wish you the best of holidays. As I hear in the background, I hear Paul McCartney singing Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time, and I hope you are as well. If you would like to reach me, here's the number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640. Will you shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Foam for All.
And with more ways to find out more Mike's Daily Podcast stuff, here's A Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!